I remember when I said this channel was not going to just be about Albuquerque. That turns out has been pretty fascinating fodder. And you know what? Our life is here now. And y'all are talking to us. I haven't gone to a restaurant recently. Well, actually one. Of the places I've been, only one has not been one that you all recommended. And that's just one example of the ways that this channel is turning out to be a great tool for us as we explore Albuquerque. So this video is going to have two parts that definitely address two questions that people have been asking me. One is, what do I really think about Albuquerque? And I think the reason some people are asking that is, well, I mean, there's I think a lot of internal conflict within the Burqueño about their place. And so when they see my videos and there's a lot of positivity, there's some curiosity, I guess, to explore that positivity. And that actually is the second question. The second question is, why are you so positive? So let's explore those two questions. Here we go. So we've been here for 4 months. What are some cool things that you've enjoyed so far?
The green chili. I like how green it is because I mean we're in the desert, but it is quite green. I like that.
What about stuff to do?
I like where we are because we're near a lot of parks. We're near a game store. We can do a lot of, we can just do a lot of stuff for our location. Yeah.
Okay. What's some stuff you haven't really liked about Albuquerque? You don't have to say anything. You know, if you don't have anything, don't make it up.
I don't really know.
Wow. So, I guess that makes me ask, if you're going to grade this city, which of course is not a thing a normal person would do, but if you're going to give this city a grade, what would it be?
Good. 98.
That's pretty good.
Can't really think of anything on the top of my head that's unique.
Okay. Is there anything about your time in Albuquerque that you haven't enjoyed?
It's hot. I really like the food here, like the tacos and stuff. I think they're really good. Yeah, I really like that, and I really like the parks and the cool places like that.
Cool. Is there anything about this town you have not enjoyed?
Well, it's very dry here. I don't really like how it's so dry.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's less green. I miss the green a lot.
I have a question for you. Oh, the light from overhead is not flattering to you. I'm sorry. Okay. So I want to know what's been cool about Albuquerque so far.
It's beautiful, not in the same way as South Carolina, but it's got a beautiful sky and the landscape.
What about stuff you don't like?
I miss green. That's a big thing. And you've talked about how the customer service is a little less southern, a little less friendly.
Okay. I have talked about that. Have you noticed that it's true, or are you just saying it?
I've noticed it a couple times, but a lot of it is from things that you've said secondhand.
Okay. What have you enjoyed about Albuquerque so far?
I really enjoyed the church we found. It's really cool. I also enjoy the location we're in. There's a lot of cool stuff right within walking distance.
Don't give away too much information.
It's a lot of cool stuff right within walking distance. Some parks, a board game shop I really like to hang out at. It's a really cool place so far. I'm enjoying it.
You didn't even mention rugby.
Well, it's been like, what, 3 months?
Yeah, exactly. The whole Albuquerque experience.
That was really cool too, actually. Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Is there something that you haven't enjoyed in your time here?
A lot of it's just the heat, just the dry heat. It's much different than the humid heat that I'm more used to, so it's really been a weird adjustment, drinking so much water and just accustoming to that dryness. It's been difficult.
All right, that's it. Fun part's over. Time to get to the serious questions. All right, so what do I really think about Albuquerque? And I'll just tell you plainly. It's a mixed bag. Certainly the reactions with the viewers, and I could see this video being a little polemical, a little divisive, because I get, all sorts of different comments from super nice and sweet people and super aggro and weird people. Weird, I guess, meaning aggro here, because I'm weird. You're a little weird. So I shouldn't have said that. What I meant was that a lot of these hateful comments come out of nowhere for me. It appears. Sometimes I'll say something that I think is a nice thing to say about town. And people will attack me. I've gotten so much hate mail. But overwhelmingly, there's been a lot of positivity to my stuff, and I think it's because I'm approaching with a positive attitude. But it's definitely been a mixed bag for us. There's a lot about this town and its culture that we find challenging. When you look at some of my kids' responses, a lot of focused on weather, for example. Because for them, they're not as out in the real world as Kimberly and I are. So, we've touched on some of our other videos, issues of security, for example, economy, culture. It's definitely a mixed bag for us. So, for example, there are a lot of cultural things that really are neutral, but I'm not a cultural relativist, and humans impose meaning on everything. And sometimes we can get carried away too far or put the wrong meaning on things. That's really what the danger is, to put the wrong meaning on something. So, for example, I've been trying to get myself not to be offended by the perceived rudeness of a lot of New Mexicans, because I want to understand that there are levels in which relativity does come into play, right? What is considered polite in one society is not what's considered polite in another. At the same time, there's a basic level in which consideration and thoughtfulness, while it might manifest itself differently in different cultures, is a universal. Hospitality is a universal. You might show hospitality differently, but you can say certain cultures are more hospitable than others. But talking about cultures and the way they manifest themselves gets so messy, it's almost useless to come up with very many absolute statements. I think that you can, to a limited degree, but like I said, it's almost useless. But certainly what's real is one's reaction. And perception is reality. Now, what I have found fascinating is that Burqueño perception of Albuquerque is also very much a mixed bag, right? And so I've tried to take that and use that as a lens as well. So, like with the question of politeness, I've tried to look at it as sort of a Western individualistic thing, and although I don't think that's necessarily the best, and I think that Americans generally are overly individualistic, I recognize that there's a trench on the other side of the path as well, where you can be too communal and lose your sense of identity. But humans find their identity in how they relate to other humans. So if you isolate yourself, you also end up sort of without an identity. And I do see a lot of isolation. Not loneliness, just isolation. And the danger actually of that for me is, and this is something my wife and I have always kind of butted heads over and struggled with, I like having superficial relationships. That's one of the reasons YouTube is so great, because I have real relationships with lots of you guys, but very few responsibilities, right? I don't have to show up and help you move. I don't like having a lot of friendships, or really any friendships, and I'm very happy all by myself. But I recognize that I take it too far. Okay? I recognize that I treat people as if I don't need them. And even though I don't need them, I shouldn't treat them that way. And I've tried to change that. That's been something I've prayed about for a long time and tried to get better about. I think I have gotten a little better about it. You know what? Maybe my wife's on the other side of that, right? So, there's not a perfect formula. We just all are awesome in some ways and suck in some ways. Then you get a bunch of people together, they form a culture, and you can sort of say that that culture manifests in some ways that are more awesome in some and less awesome in others. So I don't want to talk too much about the individualistic thing or the politeness thing, just to illustrate how it is that I've been approaching Albuquerque. The fact that crime is such an issue here, and security is such an issue here, and the statistics back it up, right? That's on Albuquerque, right? We can talk about the location and the freeways coming through and being near the border, but the bottom line is it's on Albuquerque. And listen, I say that, I came from the South. The South actually leads the country in violent deaths. Because culturally, Southerners like to fight, and guns and knives come out. And it's always been that way. There was a study once, like 20 years ago, held between the University of Michigan and the University of Texas. And they had a TA stand in a hallway at a university, at UM, and at the University of Texas, and just shove some random dude. And then they would keep track of how often the random dude would push back and be willing to fight. And of course, you're not going to be surprised to hear that in Texas, which is a southern state, in Texas, the dudes pushed back. And in Michigan, they would look away and walk on. We could talk about cowardice. I don't think it's cowardice. I think it's cultural response. Are there moral aspects to that? Yeah, there are moral aspects. But the only thing that's supposed to illustrate is, hey, Texans are more willing to fight than Michiganders. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. The South leads the country as a region in gun violence. But I'm all about owning guns, and I'm all about defending yourself. So, I say all that. Here in Albuquerque, there are social problems. And Burqueños, and I say this as an outsider, I know how dangerous that is, need to take responsibility for that in their own little ways. So, definitely a mixed bag when I look at Albuquerque. I am enjoying the heck out of it. There's also a lot of stuff that I super duper don't enjoy. But actually, you know what? I've always said that I want to live in places that have character. And anything in life that has a lot of character, people are either going to hate or they're going to love. Or there'll be aspects of it that you hate and aspects of it that you love. Albuquerque is not going to provoke a lukewarm response. That is for sure. And in its own way, that's awesome. With this point about Burqueños taking responsibility is actually what leads into the second phase of the video. So the second question is, why am I so upbeat? Why am I so positive on my channel? Some of it's just personality. Like most restaurant reviews that you're going to see here, they're going to be good ones. Why? Because if I go to a place and it sucks, I'm not going to be inspired to do a review. I'm going to a lot of places that you guys are recommending, so there's already a very good chance that it's pretty good, right? People are recommending it. But sometimes I go into a place blind and I think, I'm going to review this. And again, I just want to remind everybody, this is not the first time I've had a channel. right? The old channel's gone, but you know, I've been doing this for a little while. I want to be positive, not looking at something negative and lying, right? But, you know, I mean, I could go onto Google or Yelp and tell you this place sucks. But why would I do a whole YouTube video just to tell you this place sucks? Especially when I'm just, you know, popping in. For me to say this place is terrible, I'm going to want to have been there a bunch of times. I want to give people a real shot. If I go to a restaurant once and it's amazing, I'm willing to just throw that out there. Hey, it was amazing. But you might go and you might discover that actually the place is not as good as Joffrey says. So I'm much more trigger happy when it comes to being positive, right? I'm willing to throw the positivity out there a lot faster. I want to be much more careful about the negativity. Okay, so I talked in the first part of the video about Albuquerque being a mixed bag. But there are so many reasons for me not to be negative, even though I see things that are negative. Everybody sees things that are negative. Newspapers and TV stories are full of things that are negative. But there's a lot of cultural context I'm just not aware of. There are a lot of awesome people doing awesome things. In fact, I would say that Albuquerque is awesome people doing awesome things. Okay? If I'm going to talk broadly. So why would I ruin that looking for the things to pick at, even if there are more things to pick at here than in some other places? Because that's one fallacy I've not enjoyed in some of the comments. Like when I did the video about my truck being egged, people said that happens everywhere. Yeah, that happens everywhere. It happens more here. People's cars get stolen everywhere. Yeah, they do. It happens more here. Just like in the South, gun violence happens more. So that's not just a neutral statement. That means something. It means something that cars get stolen more here. And that's one that's so big and glaring that we can't ignore it. And we don't want to ignore it. But we want to build something good. And for the second time in this video, I say that perception is reality. On one level, that's true. And on another level, it's not. On the absolute highest cosmic level, that is not the case. What is real is what is real. But you and I have to look at reality, and we interpret it in our own weak ways, in our own fallible ways. Okay? People make mistakes all the time. And because of that, I mean, that's why spin doctors exist. Human beings can manipulate reality for good or ill. And often that manipulation becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And what I do see a little bit of in Albuquerque is negativity that breeds negativity. So I would like to be a part of, along with you, and I know this is already happening, right? I'm not saying that I'm coming here with this brilliant idea for you Burqueños. I know you're already doing this, but I want to be a part of it. I want to bring positivity to breed positivity, right? There's this negativity and this negative outlook on reality, and that leads to negativity. That sets certain expectations that everyone behaves in this bad way, so I should behave in this bad way as well. Just wait. And I'm Latin American. Just wait until I do my video about comparing Albuquerque to Latin America. Then we can really crack that open. But there's negativity that breeds negativity. Nah. I don't want to be about that. I'm not going to hide from the truth. I'm not going to lie, but I want to highlight what's good about Albuquerque and about Burqueños and about Burqueño lifestyle, because I want more of that. I live here now. I want to help build that. Of course, I'm not going to be able to make that positivity be Burqueño. Y'all Burqueños have to do that. Like, I'm going to bring my own little Flava Flav, but you guys have got your flavor, and I want it to be positive. And you guys on this channel have been so positive as well, which I've absolutely loved. So that is why I am so positive on this channel. That's why I say so many good things. Am I blind to the bad stuff? No, I'm not. And you know what? I bet I discover a bunch of more bad stuff. I'm sure I will. This is a place. It's a human place. But I'm also sure I'm going to discover a bunch of great stuff, a bunch of cool stuff. And I want more of that, So I'm going to promote that. I'm going to push it. I'm going to laud that sort of behavior and that sort of building. And I think you guys should be a part of that. And that's it. Positivity. I'm bringing it. Not because I'm naive, but because I'm an optimist and I want to construct. All right, y'all. That has been this video. I hope it's been uplifting. I hope it's been encouraging. Send me video ideas, guys. Send me video ideas. I want notions of what to do. And you should know that on this channel, it's not going to be just Albuquerque. I've been trying to think on this channel where I'm going to go from here. It's going to be a whole lot of Albuquerque, a whole lot of New Mexico, some of my travel stuff. But I think I'm also going to start roping in my family a little bit and start talking about our lifestyle, because I do think that a lot of you guys might find that interesting. So when you toss in ideas, maybe toss out some stuff about that. Share. Get people on board this channel. This channel helps me. It helps our family. And yes, I'm talking fiduciarily. Okay? So share this. Be a part of this community. I love how you guys hop onto the community tab. When I post something, I always get comments and interaction, and I absolutely love that. I love that I can tell you guys about my wife on the community tab and about her improvements in her health. And you guys are all over that. And you guys have been praying, and you guys have been keeping up with the bad news as well, you know, and that is so cool for me. So cool. So the community aspect is great, but grow the community. Push this video out there. Share it with you. Oh man, I'm running out of space to talk on my phone here. All right, so share it with your friends, but also press the like button, subscribe if you have not, and the little bell, tap the bell. The peace of Christ be upon you.